Welcome back, guys. So this week we are in south part of the Cherokee National Forest. Right now we're in a spot called Lost Creek Campground off of Lost Creek Road. Not too far, I guess. Delano, Tennessee is about the closest town, I think. Been coming down this way for several years. I've never been able to camp down here. It's always been crowded. Came down here about a year and a half ago, and it was excuse me, it was packed. And unfortunately I went on down and found another spot, but it wasn't as good as this. From what I have seen though on YouTube and things I've heard and listened to, this spot that I've got right here is the primo spot. It's the very back of the campground, and it is right up against Lost Creek right here behind us. So my intention this weekend was to camp off of Spring Creek Road, which is north of the Hiwassee River. Right now we're south of the Hiwassee River, and I drove down Spring Creek, and I've got a couple spots over there that I really enjoy, and it was packed. There was one spot, the very last spot I saw. It's not the greatest spot, but I was going to use it as a backup, and I decided once I got past that, I thought, you know what, it's a few miles, but I'm going to go down, cross the Hiwassee River, and take a shot at Lost Creek just for the heck of it. And I thought the whole way, this is a really dumb idea. It's going to be packed. Spring Creek was packed. This will be packed. But as luck would have it, got in here, and just as I was pulling around through the campsite, I noticed it wasn't full. So I was like, well, it's not full. Maybe we'll have some luck. Got down here, and there was a guy that was in this site, and he was just wrapped up and had gotten into his vehicle and had started it and was pulling out as I came around. And I thought, the camping gods are smiling upon me today. So I've got what is supposed to be, and I believe just from looking around, it is a great spot right up against the creek here. So we're going to be here tonight, probably head back up north of the Hiwassee tomorrow and show you guys the cliffs on Chestnut Mountain, which is it's not an official trail. You just got to know where it's at. Enough folks know where it's at, have been up there, that there's a good trail to it. And we're going to stay here tonight. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I'm sure the entire country is hot right now. It's been in the mid 90s. Heat index is over 100 this entire week. It's been miserable. So I will probably go down here, and you guys will see me next sitting in the chair in the creek in a few minutes. So I will catch you guys down there, just going to cool off after I've got all this set up. I broke a sweat, so time to go sit in the creek for a minute. All right, see you guys in a minute. Let's show you guys the setup. Here's where we are. Two picnic tables here for some odd reason, but anyway, Lost Creek Campground. There's the setup. Got the canopy and the soft topper. Like I've told you guys before, I love to use the truck to camp in. I also love to use the truck as a truck, so I stay as no build as possible. Everything can be tore down and out of here and changed over to a tonneau cover in about 45 minutes. But we are in the very back side of Lost Creek Campground. Lucked out, got this site, and right there's the creek. You can see my chair way over there. I was sitting in the sitting in that a minute ago. I'll be sitting in it again here in another minute or two. Got a couple of families down here. Long weekend leading up to the holiday. I can hear them down there having fun in the water, and almost got that site up there. I think those folks are just going down. There's a trail that goes out of the back of that site, as well as this one, and walks down to the creek. So I think that's where they're at. A couple of vault toilets here as well. You can't really, yeah, you might be able to see them off in the distance through the woods up there. So it's an established campground. Vault toilets that you can barely see through the trees up there. Actually check those out. They're not bad. They're not as bad as I've seen before. A few folks down here, but we're gonna hang out here, maybe do a bike ride a little bit, and come back and have some dinner. Finally cooled down enough to where we can attempt to grill a burger, chicken burger. It was in the refrigerator, I grabbed it. So we're gonna have this for supper, along with a little bit of other stuff I brought. May still make the peak backpacking meal though, because I'm starving. We're finally cooling off a little bit. The sun's down behind the trees. We've got a ridge line over here. The sun's trying to go down behind, thank goodness. Sitting in the creek made it far more tolerable. Bought this for a reason, and I cooked on it, and I'm sitting over here trying to hold a floppy plate. Not working out so well. I swear I'll get better at this, guys. All right, guys. Here we are, Apalachia Powerhouse. You can see those two big penstocks coming down the mountain there. That actually brings water from the Apalachia Dam, which is several miles away from here. This is the powerhouse. I'll take you guys across the suspension bridge. This is the Hiwassee River. We came in from the south side, which is all Forest Service roads. Not the best gravel roads in the world. A lot more of an adventure to come in from this side of the river though. The other side is asphalt all the way up pretty much to the right over here. And you can just take a short little walk and get on the suspension bridge. We took the adventurous way since we were already on the south side of the river anyway. Brought my blue heeler across this thing here a while back with my wife, and we were down here and I was showing the powerhouse suspension bridge to her. Dog was not impressed with this bridge at all. She made it across, but she was not real happy about it. The Hiwassee is a gorgeous river. A lot of fishermen. Big trout fishing river. You can see some folks way down there in the boat fishing. And like I said, there's a trail that goes through here as well. I believe it's the Benton McKay. Ties in just over through here somewhere and kind of heads up the river there. You see some more folks up the river. I don't know if you can make them out or not, fishing. Big fishing river, big trout fishing river.
You see the water being churned out at the powerhouse there. Like I said, the water, the source of all the water coming out right there is the Apalachia Dam, which is just on the North Carolina side of the Tennessee-North Carolina border, I believe. And you can see the penstocks coming down. Those penstocks actually run for miles, sometimes above ground and sometimes below ground. And there's some places on some of the Forest Service roads and trails in the Cherokee National Forest that you can see those. And I've not done that. That might be something, be a cool little adventure to go on too sometime, to go through there and find those penstocks running through the woods. May do that. Hiawassee is a really popular river with folks who fish, just come down here for the day, get wet, play in the river with their kids. I believe actually last night the campsite that I had and the campsite behind me both had trails that led out of the back of them, and at one point I saw a couple of guys come in and park last night, and they were gone for a couple hours, and went down there at one point just to follow that trail down to the river, and I saw them come running across the river, and I thought, where are you guys coming from? He said, oh, this trail keeps going. This is the Benton McKay. So I had no idea that if you cross the river there, you would be on the Benton McKay, and it comes right out of the back of that trail, or about back out of the campsite that I was in, right out of the back side there. So apparently, and it was a very well used trail. It wasn't grown up or anything, so I'll have to come down here and camp again and do a few miles worth of backpacking or hiking on the Benton McKay, which is a popular trail, and it runs right through the middle of basically nowhere, connecting a few spots together in the Cherokee National Forest. But anyway, guys, we'll walk across, show you guys the other side, and then we'll jump back in the truck and head over to Spring Creek. A little further drive down here than I thought it was too. I misremembered how many miles it was to get to this on the south side using the Forest Service roads, but it's worth it. You can see across, see my truck way over there. A little better view of the powerhouse.
My watch says it's only 15/100, just over a tenth and a half up here. But it is straight up, so if you ever come to try and find this, be prepared. So the falls are not completely dry, but this is really pretty low. There's not really any water on the cascade at all leading up to this. But at this waterfall coming up from Spring Creek Road is where you hang a right, start heading out toward the cliff. So that's what we're fixing to do, guys. Pick the hottest time of the day to do it. It's 95 degrees, that's what the truck said. And that steep 180-foot climb in a tenth and a half, feels like more than that. We'll see you guys out the cliffs here in a minute.
So guys, if you do decide excuse me, to come up and find and hike the cliffs at Chestnut Mountain, just be a little more intelligent than I am, and don't do it when it's 95 degrees in the middle of the day. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a view from up here on one of the cliffs. Can't really tell it from this distance, but the river is pretty well littered with folks that are just, you know, it's the Friday before Memorial Day, or 4th of July, and folks are just all in the river. Anywhere you can squeeze a car off the side of the road, people are stopping and getting out. And so this highway here that you're seeing on the south bank, just on the south bank of the Hiwassee, is I think it's 30, Highway 30. I could be wrong. I'll look that up later, but I believe it is. And it takes you down to the little community of Reliance. And once you just get outside of a Reliance, you'll turn left on a gravel road, and that's Lost Creek Road. So we were just down this direction and on out past Reliance, and then about 7 miles down Lost Creek Road is Lost Creek Campground and Lost Creek. And there's a bridge. If you take Spring Creek Road, it runs beside the railroad tracks down here on the north bank of the Hiwassee. You can take it all the way out to the end and turn right, and that'll take you just a short distance, couple 3 miles, and you'll come right back out on this highway right here. So it crosses on a bridge on down, and you'll come out across the bridge, and right at that bridge intersection with this Highway 30 here, you will you'll see Webb Brothers. It's a service station, but they do floats. It's a float company as well, so you can pull in there. I've done it before with my daughter. We did it last summer. It's, I think, 30 bucks. They'll rent you a float, a tube, a big heavy-duty tube, and they will give you a life jacket, and they'll throw you in the bed of one of their trucks, and they'll run you all the way up to the Apalachia Powerhouse, the last put-in before the Apalachia Powerhouse on the north bank of the Hiwassee. And they'll throw you in the river, and you float basically as long as you want. You've got all day. And it's a several-hour float. My daughter and I never stopped. I got off or went out of the river for a minute or anything like that. We just stayed in the river the whole day, and it was 5-6 hours at least floating back to Webb Brothers. And it's a really cool experience. And the river is packed with people, both doing the float company stuff and then doing their own private floats and canoes and kayaks and stuff like that. Right now the river's not up. It's just low and slow right now, which is perfect for tubing and kayaking if you don't want a whole ton of excitement. And I'm not a professional whitewater kayaker, so I didn't want a whole ton of excitement. Plus I had my daughter with me, and we had a blast. I think that's something we're going to do again. We're going to try and get, before the summer's over, and get up here and do a Hiwassee river float again with my daughter, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because she will be moving to New Mexico at the 1st of August. So we're trying to squeeze in a little bit of stuff with her before she takes off. But wanted to show you guys the beautiful views of the Hiwassee River Valley. This is one of these. I think this one here, or could be this one here, is Oswald Dome, and that's also Cherokee National Forest, and there's a hike up to that as well. It's not a real scenic hike. I've driven up to the top of it on Forest Service roads before, which you really don't want a nice vehicle to do that, and I did it in way too nice of a vehicle. But wanted to show you guys this. Now, like I said, if you guys do want to tackle this, the payoff is amazing. There's no fences or gates or anything up here, so you're at your own risk on these cliffs. And one thing I will tell you, don't do it in the heat of the day like me. If you do it in the cool of the morning, it's better, but watch for rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes love to come out and warm themselves on the rocks early in the morning. They're not out right now on the rocks, of course, way too hot. A second thing is, I've seen people bring dogs up here before. It's extremely steep coming up the first couple of tents, and it's really not hospitable for dogs. So don't bring your dog up here. Plus, when you get your dog up here, unless you've got them on a short leash, there's no way to keep them from just, you know, falling off one of these cliffs, and nobody wants to see that. But I saw a lady basically carry her dog half the way up through here, and it wasn't a small dog, just to get the dog up here. And I thought, man, that's not really fair to the dog, because the dog is going to have a terrible time getting up and down, and it's rocky and steep. So just probably don't bring the dog on this one, is the only recommendation I would have. But this is going to wrap it up, guys. We may do a couple more shots from up here. And we will see you guys back down at the truck here in a few minutes. We're going to stop and see a couple other little things down here just for my own personal knowledge while I'm down here. Like I said, this is an extremely popular area. Tons of stuff to see and do. The Hiwassee, the Ocoee, the Tellico, all of these rivers in southeast Tennessee and the Cherokee National Forest are just outstanding for recreation. And we're going to show you guys a lot more. See you guys at the truck.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Appreciate you guys tagging along with me to Lost Creek. As you can see behind me, the truck's been emptied out, and if it doesn't rain today, we're going to try and wash it. It's pretty nasty after all those miles of dirt roads, gravel roads. But we got to see the Powerhouse at Apalachia Dam. We got to see Lost Creek Campground, first time for me, and biscuits and gravy as well, another first. I'm going to try and improve on that though. And took you guys up the cliffs at Chestnut Mtn. All of this was around the Hiwassee River, Cherokee National Forest, really popular spot. We'll be back there again. And until next time, guys, remember, if you never go, you'll never know. See you next time, guys.